Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to the Business Advisory Services podcast. I hope you're having a great day. Accountants and bookkeepers' role in assisting SMEs in research and development claims is the subject that I'd like to talk to you today. Why assist is a question that some accountants and bookkeepers ask me. Why should we get involved in research and development? I think it's very interesting and challenging work, and it therefore is very attractive for talent attraction and retention, because one of the key activities that I think accountants and bookkeepers need to be supplying to your talent is interesting and challenging work. There's plenty of jobs out there at present, and people will look around. Thousands of sole traders, micro businesses, small businesses undertake research and development activities in Australia each year. It's a huge market. 23% of research and development activities are undertaken by businesses with less than 19 employees, many of them with no employees. I think it's the start of the innovation highway, research and development, because the vast majority of businesses, if they are going to implement an innovation strategy, will be commencing with some sort of research and development. Now, whether it's going to qualify as a special taxation offset through the taxation incentives really depends on what the client's doing and on the advice that you're able to give to them, and obviously whether they accept that advice. But you need to know what your clients are doing at the start. Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and watch some of your clients or potential prospects not come to your firm because your firm has a reputation of only wanting to do tax work? And I think that's quite funny, really, because research and development is all governed by the Tax Act with input from Oz Industry. There's no other section of the Australian law involved in research and development. It's all under the Income Tax Act. So why do accountants in particular shy away from it, other than in the big firms? I think the big firms have created a market for themselves in this area and have probably scared off many accountants from getting involved, and I don't think there's any need for you to be scared of. You don't have to be a scientist or an engineer. I'm certainly not. You don't have to understand the intellectual property. In fact, I don't think you should even attempt to understand the intellectual property. That's the client's property. They own it. And they have been advised by patent attorneys to be very careful who they share their knowledge with. But your role is not to understand their intellectual property. Your role, I believe, is to work through the processes to make sure that the client understands what their requirements are, that the various forms are completed which support their claim that they have undertaken legitimate research and development, that they have undertaken the experiments, they've identified the hypothesis, they've gone through that whole process. Now, some of these terms will frighten some clients off, but you need to sit them down and work through the forms, which we have developed within ESS BIZTOOLS. You don't get them from the tax office. We supply them to our subscribers. I think the innovation highway presents fantastic opportunities for accounting firms today. With today's technology of computers, of being able to communicate by Zoom and other means, and by having a highly trained workforce available that you need to motivate as accounting firm principals or bookkeeping firm principals to get the best out of your team members, to get them enthusiastic about helping people on research and development. Because after the initial research and development, there is then government grants to consider. There's some fantastic government grants for people who have undertaken research and development, headed by the Accelerating Commercialisation Grant, a grant of up to $1 million on a 50% grant basis that businesses are able to claim each month. How many clients have you had to claim this particular grant? Your client's going to need predictive accounting reports, budgets, cash flow forecasts, projected balance sheets, so that they have a picture of their financial future. And obviously they also need a business plan. And really the predictive financial accounts is the financial interpretation of what's contained within the business plan. And if the clients you're acting for are the same as the ones I've acted for over the years, they will normally need money from somewhere. Now, it might be that they've got some spare assets, or they've got a favourite aunt who's got a spare asset who will make it available to them to borrow money against. So they need loan applications submitted to their bank or some other financier. And that's where they're going to need those predictive accounting reports to substantiate what they're saying in their loan application. To get started, they might need to try to raise some initial capital. It might only be $20,000, $50,000, but they need it to get some initial work done. It might even be part of your fees getting paid in this way. So Section 708 of the Corporations Act is a great vehicle to be able to help them raise that sum of money. As you know, there's a limit on the amount of money that can be raised. Under 708, it's $2 million, maximum of 20 new investors in a 12-month period. But it's a great starter to get underway. It might be the total package too, of course, but that's up to you and your client. You could then look at the early stage innovation company, which was a great initiative of the Malcolm Turnbull government a few years ago, because it supplied carrots to try to attract investors to look at Australian businesses that have developed something new, a product, process, service, because the investor gets 20% tax offset of the value of their investment, up to a maximum offset of $200,000 for a sophisticated investor, and up to a maximum of $10,000 for a retail investor. So it's well worth looking at. The client, of course, gets the investment money into their business to finalise their research and development, to bring it into the commercial marketplace. And all that costs a lot more than what most people ever envisage. Or they could look at crowdsourced funding equity raising. As long as their turnover is under $25 million, value of gross assets is under $25 million, and they're not listed on a stock exchange anywhere in the world, they could look at going down the crowdsourced funding path. But virtually none of your clients will know any aspect of this process, whether it's Section 708 capital raising, early stage innovation company, or crowdsourced funding equity raising. They will need your assistance. This is the innovation highway. And then they might need, and hopefully they will need, further input, because they want to scale up their business. They want to grow it from the current couple of $100,000 turnover to a $10 million turnover business within 3 years. They will need the input of a chief financial officer, and you could offer that service as a virtual service. You know this company very intimately by this. You've been through everything. You understand their work processes. You've helped them get themselves investment ready to be able to raise capital. Your firm is the obvious firm that could then take them forward. Now, you might not be with them forever. They might grow to the stage where they want to complete an initial public offer and then get listed on the stock exchange. But why wouldn't you take on that challenge as well? That's up to you to decide, of course. I'd take it on. I've been the company secretary and chief financial officer of a listed public company. It was a bit daunting at first, but after I really learnt the ropes, it was very exciting. So why wouldn't you want to go on that journey with your team? I think all of this will definitely attract talent and help you retain talent within your firm, because I believe this is real accounting work. Sure, these younger accountants will also be asked to prepare some tax returns, but I think they'll have a greater enthusiasm for working in public practice if they're getting exposure to these types of transactions, working on the innovation highway, which starts with research and development. So do you need any special skills? No, but you will be greatly assisted if you've subscribed to ESS BIZTOOLS and you are using our research and development product package, which has got everything step by step set out for you to use. And as I said before, research and development is part of the Income Tax Act. And I know a lot of accounting firms like to only do Tax Act work. Well, research and development is part of the Tax Act. Your main role is to advise your clients on the procedural requirements for research and development, not to debate with them about the worthiness of their invention. The marketplace will ultimately decide that. But it's the client's responsibility to undertake the proper reviews that are necessary, the prior art searches, the identification of what the research project's going to be all about, what new knowledge are they hoping to obtain, the documentation of the experiments, the results of the experiments. And incidentally, please remember, the experiments do not have to be successful. The main requirement under the legislation is that a process is implemented whereby the results of the research activities are documented, and if it's a failure, it's noted as a failure. And then your client can move on to the next one. They don't have to be successful in everything. The Australian government realises that research and development is trial and error and until they can find out a project. Last week we prepared another podcast where the gentleman that I interviewed told me that he'd spent 25 years developing the product that he's now hoping to bring to market. 25 years. And he'd had the light bulb moment about 18 months ago. After 25 years of looking at it, dropping it, looking at it, dropping it. This can be very interesting and challenging work. It can be very satisfying internally to yourself. I've had a client that I acted for about 20 years ago who in the last year has received special payments totaling about $80 million. That gives you some internal satisfaction. I did something to help that gentleman probably put that whole process in operation many years ago. How do you get your clients to know that you're interested in working on research and development? Well, I think you've got to freely talk about it. You've got to make sure on your website there's articles on research and development. In your newsletters, there's articles on research and development. That you monitor what's going on in the client's business, preferably because you're offering a 52-week year service, that you follow up, ask what they're working on. What are they charging outlays to? What are the staff allocating time to? And if you notice they're undertaking research and development, and they might not even call it that you then have a conversation with them, especially if they're sole traders. Because the only way they're going to be able to claim the research and development tax offset is if they are incurring that expenditure within a company. So that's an overview of research and development. I really hope that as accountants and bookkeepers, you're not avoiding the issue because you're concerned that you have to be a scientist or an engineer to give that advice. You're not advising on the intellectual property. You're advising on the processes that's necessary to be able to claim the research and development benefits. And we have the forms, the guidelines all prepared, and you just go through and tick them off as you use them for that client. We've got a special promotion on at present to try to encourage more accountants to become proactive on research and development. So we have a special offer on our advanced package, which includes the research and development package, 12 months subscription, upfront payment, $2,999 plus GST. That's a 50% reduction. And you also receive 4 holiday vouchers that we have available. But this offer is only available until Wednesday the 15th of March. So please go onto our website and register for our advanced package, pay your subscription, and we will forward the holiday vouchers to you. But we are also offering a special training package to get you underway very quickly, not to wait a couple of months, but to try to get you to have a clear understanding of how research and development works. So we're starting the training package from Thursday the 23rd of March, and we will be continuing it 30 minutes each day for the following 3 Thursdays, so that we can work through with you to make sure you're underway with implementing research and development. I hope you're excited about this opportunity, because it's not just research and development on its own. It is part of the innovation highway, something that I think every accountant in Australia should be involved in, and a large number of bookkeepers, because you're the first reviewers of a lot of what's going on in clients' activities, so you can see where they're spending money or where their team members are working. If you need more information, please give me a phone call, 1800 232 088, or send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. I look forward to hearing from you and working with you as you embark on research and development advice to your clients as the start of your participation in the innovation highway. Stay safe. Have a great day. Goodbye.